From WBBZ-TV Sports, it's time to Beat the Champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novotsky.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beat the Champ. I'm here with Janelle Sabin and Greg Merkel, who's filling in for Paul while he's out on assignment. And it's our third week at Central Lanes in Salamanca, where we've seen our winningest bowler, Chuck Jagodzinski, get his 31st win, only to be defeated by some of the local bowlers here in Salamanca, who's put on a beautiful job here. Today, there's only two bowlers separating our champion, Ryan Kress, from meeting his twin brother, Tom Kress. Tell us about those bowlers.
So before Ryan gets to face off with his brother, he has to get through James Brown, who's a local from Salamanca. He bowls league here at Central Lanes. And then he has to also get through Jeremy Cressley, who we've seen before in Bradford. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out and see if we can have a head-to-head brother tournament.
Yeah, and Greg, what do you think of our champion here?
Well, Ryan had a good week last week. He's got a good line. The lanes haven't really changed for him. I watched him in practice. It looks like he's going to throw the same ball and pretty much the same line with a little bit of room. So right now, he's got the advantage.
Well, will our lefty prevail, or will one of our local Southern Tier guys take the championship and take it down to Lucky Lanes in 2 weeks? Stay tuned. Let's get rolling. Ryan Kress, our champion, versus James Brown.
Well, I just noticed Ryan doesn't have any 300s, but his ball driller of choice is Sue Jeziorski. I wonder if that means something, because most people do get 300s with their...
Well, why don't we phone her up and ask her?
We could do that. We could phone a friend, absolutely.
Or this would be a nice place to have your first one. Great shot.
Good start.
So, James is a local bowler here from Salamanca. He bowls here at Central Lanes on Mondays and Fridays, averaging 209 and 202 respectively. And he came out to bowl the show, which is great. I always encourage the local house bowlers in the bowling centers where Beat the Champ goes to come out and compete.
Good start.
Because you're comfortable in that center. You have the right equipment. You already know how the lanes break down. You may not feel like you're at an advantage because you've not made TV, but you are at an advantage because you're very, very familiar with your surroundings.
And he's using the same ball that he used during qualifiers, the Storm Intense. And
right, and
struck on his first shot.
You've mentioned that a number of times where they're using the same equipment that they came here to qualify with. So it's translating into the show condition. Just come out and bowl.
And obviously he's a high rev rate player, and he gets that ball out onto the lane, which could help or hurt him, depending on what's going on the lane.
Right, but we both know that in these softer surface wood houses that have seen a lot of play over the years.
Hang on.
The fronts tend to hook a little earlier, and if you can loft the ball over the front, you kind of negate a situation that you have to deal with, right?
Absolutely.
So part of being on a wood condition is also managing the front part of the lane, which isn't really a problem on synthetic. So if you're lofting it over that, you're kind of managing that part of the lane.
You're lofting the problem, you got it. Well, Ryan pulled that a little bit, and it just sat there right in the oil and struck for him.
Well, that's kind of the point. You want to find yourself in the spot where you have you have a little bit of area to your right, a little bit of area to your left.
You got it. And that's what
then you know you're lined up, yep.
Pulled that a little bit too, and he knew it.
Well, as a fellow bowler, part of the trick is when you know you have it, when you know you have that little bit of in and you have that little bit of right, the trick is not to use it. And that's what I always recommend is don't throw it there, cheat it there, if that makes any sense to you at all.
It does, of course.
You don't want, when you know you have area to the right of you or the left of you, don't use it. Just have it. It's more, you can utilize it better if you just get there by accident than if you try to
know
use
you have it in the back pocket. Just execute and throw good shots at whatever you're looking at on the lane.
Because generally, if you try to throw it into those spots, then you don't get the same outcome.
See what happens after his miss. Comes back with a good shot. He's kicking the ball return on the right-hand lane.
Because he's so deep.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's not the longest ball return either. There's longer ball returns that can be very problematic.
Oh my gosh. I want to thank the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard again with Janelle over there doing a great job. Yeah, look at that leg kick. Wow. Good shot. It's a good comeback after a 9 miss.
Yeah, and you know, it's no coincidence if we've seen a lot of power players out here this month. We've seen tremendous ball speed. We've seen high rev rates. And because of the wood surface, and you know, that tends to rise to the top because you can compensate for the drier boards and the wood surface. When you throw it that hard on synthetics, they tend to spray or shoot down the lane.
Yep.
Because we've seen a lot of flying pins today for the 3 weeks that we've been here.
And the different styles, which makes it really cool to watch.
It's surprising that only one left-hander made it to the show.
Yeah, considering a left-hander owns the place.
Exactly.
This feels like a good time to take a short break. Instant replay on Beat the Champ is brought to you by Transit Lanes and Keglers. Join us for bowling, food, and drinks. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
See him kick it?
Wow.
Yep.
You are so right.
I mean, he's kicking it. He's not just touching it. He does a lot on that last step. All right, there we go.
Nice.
That's called loft.
Yeah, I was forewarned about that. We were forewarned that he lofted out on the lane, and that's pretty far out there. Great shot. Nice way to come back from that spare.
You'll have to watch him on the left lane again. He may have the Greg Wojtowicz socks going again. I happened to look and I saw possible. Pulled it a little bit. Yep, just got it in the oil a little bit. Not a bad shot.
Not a bad shot at all. You want to keep that ball in play. You don't want to leave anything funny. You don't want any big splits. And you want to stay clean. We have seen this month some suspect spare shooting.
We have.
And I don't know if it's because, you know, we've had a lot of new people to the show that aren't necessarily all that comfortable. Because once you're at this level, you're probably a pretty good spare shooter.
That's the problem with getting that ball in the oil. You think maybe you'll leave one or the other, and that 5-pin goes right in front of the 9, and it leaves them both there. You know, you had mentioned spare shooting. It's so true. The strange aspect the last few weeks here has been they're not multiple spin spare misses. They're single pin misses.
Yeah.
And then the opponent comes up and strikes. So it's been really weird to see that many single pin misses.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think we've seen one chop in the month that we've been here, and that was the 245 that got chopped.
That's yep.
But other than that, it's been single pin misses with it, which are so rare.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting is when James here has a very high backswing, and so.
Yeah, Yep.
Obviously, he's generating a lot of power from that backswing, but if you watch him set up, one thing that I've learned is that if you have that high backswing, you have to set up low. So when you stand up to hold the ball up, you want to hold it lower, closer to your hip, or you're going to throw yourself off. You
sure
need
are.
it to be lower so that you can generate that big backswing.
Wow. I don't know how you can control that, but it works for him.
Proprietors must love that.
Yep. That is not something that is taught in lessons. Dave Gwendon would not teach that on a 10-pin. But they never, you know, like in a lot of sports, they don't say how, they say how many. So if you're accurate, you're accurate.
You could tell what lanes he's bowled on by the dents halfway down the lane. And he uses the full approach to get there too.
Sure does. He's right over about 20. Okay. I can't tell where he's playing the right lane, but the left lane is about 20.
And we've seen everybody have more success staying in on lane 7 than trying to mess around with the outside boards. So Ryan needs to bounce back from that pocket 8-10. To me, there's nothing worse than hitting the pocket and leaving a split. It's like, at least leave me something makeable. Nice shot.
It's funny you say that. I know you bowl in the Monday League at Clarence, and I've subbed in the league in Clarence. I just haven't bowled this year or last year. Kevin Iwaniak threw a gutter ball one night, and everybody looked at him. It's dead silence, and he turns around and he goes, "My mother always told me, leave a spare you can make." And he made it. Well, that was a good comeback. That was a good shot. Pulled it a little. Yep, just got it in a little.
Right on the one, right?
He's still creating his area. You're right. He's got room to still hit the pocket, but he's still trying to create a little area for himself.
Did he make it?
He made it. He did. Yes.
Because his body was blocking me, but if I were to go by sound alone, I would say
Just
he didn't.
fell. He doesn't give himself much room or much angle at that. He practiced, and I watched him miss one over there.
Oh, we'll mention the Dirt Sheep TV that Ryan Coburn had won last month for the
Last
television
TV.
set.
Now they're giving away a laptop computer to the high qualifier.
That's right. Thanks
Which is
to
cool.
Dirt Cheap TV. Keeping it going here with Beat the Champ, but this time with a laptop computer. And James has just gone ahead by 2 pins with that right there if he continues to get good count, but made this match very, very close. In fact, he can shut Ryan out by striking out here in the 10th.
Ryan's having trouble carrying. Got that in a little bit and worked for him.
He's got this lane figured out too because he needs to keep it in, and the light hit is actually carrying for him.
It will for him because of the type of ball that he uses and the revs on his ball versus Ryan. Yep. Thank you. Okay. Yep.
And we have a new winner.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately, Ryan will not meet Tom in the finals, so Tom will have to defend the Crest title, and we will come back and talk to Ryan. Ryan, I know you're disappointed with the outcome of that. You didn't miss the pocket one time. What happened there?
Just fought some carry issues. A couple 7 pins. It's 7-9.
Would you have chosen a different ball given if you were to do it again?
Probably not. Maybe just, I don't know. I guess maybe throw it a little bit better. I thought I threw it pretty good, but.
Well, it happens. That's the name of the game, right? Paul, you got a little money for him?
I do. Ryan, appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
Hope you come back when we have it here again, okay? Nice bowling. Thank you.
Well, you did a great job representing the left-handers here. Yep. And I know we're probably going to see you next month, right?
Yep.
All right. We'll be back for the next match, and we end up the day with your brother, so you have somebody to stay here and root for. Stay tuned. It could Beat the Champ. So we've got Jeremy Cressley and James Brown.
Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, James Brown loving, man. Like I knew you would. I see Jeremy's on staff of Brunswick and certainly drills his own equipment. So.
And he's a chemist. He's a very bright young man.
Wow, so he's a little bit of everything here.
Well,
how that translates to.
I think that a little bit of a science background is definitely helpful in the game of bowling. It's very much physics.
Whoa.
Oh no. That is unplayable area.
That ball looked like it was hooking around 20, 25 feet down the lane, just past the arrow.
Oh, he threw it right into the dry.
Wow.
So the dry boards are unplayable. But he left himself a very makeable spare.
Yeah, if you're going to make a mistake, like you said, leave something that you can pick up. It's pretty easy. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, he sucked it.
Well, that explains why everybody's been keeping it in so much on lane 7.
You're right.
No one's been getting it out to there at all. They've been very straight up and inside on that lane, and that's why.
He really kicked the return on that one.
Pardon me?
He really kicked the return on that one.
He does get that foot pretty high up there, doesn't he? He's not even standing that close to the ball return.
When he kicks the leg up this time, see if he's got the Wojtowicz socks going.
Greg Wojtowicz doesn't wear socks, does
I know,
he?
that's what I meant. Yep, he's got them on. They're just little ankle socks. That's a good shot because obviously that's the lane that's been guys have had the trouble with.
Yeah, because we've seen everyone playing a lot further to the right on lane 8, so it can't be as burnt as lane 7 is.
Wow.
Wow.
I mentioned Kevin Iwaniak. I got to mention him again. I remember we had made a small bet a couple years ago bowling, and I had beat him. And he made a shot at me being a lefty. He goes, "What have you? You moved 1 and 1 all night." He goes, "I've migrated across the Sahara already." The terminology that the bowlers use, you know, we laugh at it.
Yeah, they're funny.
Well, let's see if it was the lane or Jeremy. Well, he asked for it to hook, and it did.
Yeah, that was a nice shot, though. He throws it good.
And as you say, they're able to get that ball deeper out there into the dryer. On that lane, it can't do it on 7.
No, definitely it looks like anything outside of second arrow is...
out of bounds.
Yep, out of bounds in a different way, though.
You're right.
But
Yeah,
nonetheless...
sorry.
No, I was
correct.
thinking the words out of bounds earlier today, too. It's whatever it is, you can't go there. So I guess the trick is, do you move everything in, or do you just keep your eyes in? You know, because they could be so dry to the right that...
A ball change may not even matter.
No, I wouldn't think so. I think you would just square up.
I think you would have to, yeah.
I
Do
stand
you
pretty
find
deep.
this to be the norm later in the shows, that the scores are a little less than? That's a big move.
Well, he still chose to use the dry, so he just moved way inside of it.
Yep.
Yes and no. You know, I think that sometimes your synthetic lanes will hold up a little bit better. I know that I bowled the 4th show at Rapids, and they were very, very playable. There was still plenty of oil out on the lane. You know, but the wood lanes break down different, and they tend to be a little tougher as they break down. Because what you get is, like, to me, the bowling nightmare when you're supposed to get skid, roll, hook. You get roll, hook, nothing,
Right.
you know. So
Because the ball rolls out.
The ball rolls out on you.
Hang on.
You know,
that one, he looks like he just missed it in a little bit, and it stayed in the oil a little bit longer for him.
You know, just a hypothetical, just throwing it at you. You know, we talk about how the equipment has changed, how, you know, the lane patterns have changed and become softer, and the conditions are more higher scoring conditions. But at one time, they used to only bowl on wood lanes.
You're right.
And with wood lanes, it is a challenge to play every part of the lane. You have to break the lane into thirds. You have to play the heads. You have to figure out the heads, the mid lane, and the back end. Where synthetics have sort of negated that front part of the lane, unless you have too much skid.
That's true.
So I was watching an old telecast, and it was Earl Anthony bowling against Bo Burton. It was 1978 or 79 show. And, you know, they're both throwing, you know, rubber balls or low performance bowling balls. And
On a flatter oil pattern.
right, right. And it was, they said that Bo Burton had 6 300s and Earl Anthony had like 15. Because that's how much harder it was to shoot those scores back in the day.
I think Mark Roth was probably the first guy out on tour that was able to hook and stand left. He was even deeper than Pete Weber, you know, at that point. But yeah, a lot of changes over the years. Certainly, equipment has, but
But still, the surface has changed as well. So
Sure has. Sure has. Well, synthetic is easier to maintain. Synthetic generally is a flatter surface. Shelf life is a lot longer than wood.
right. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. This is a different ball game after 3 games. I mean, we've seen quite a few games on lane 7 and 8 here, and you can see how figuring them out has become, you know, part of the process.
He's playing the right lane straighter, but he's still getting it out early, and it's still coming back.
Yeah, that's the one dangerous thing, because he's still trying to use the friction instead of trying to keep it in the oil. That he opens himself up to this with the slightest. If you're not perfect, you're going to leave something generally unmakeable.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about his ball finishing, that's for sure.
This went from a tight match with Jeremy up 2 pins to Jeremy having to strike to fight for his life here, because he's now down 24, could be 34 with another strike.
He's over 20 on that lane, so maybe he found something on that lane. The only one who was that deep was a few weeks ago with Zarcone.
And that was on the fresh.
That was on the fresh, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. At the arrows, he was about right on 10, right about the second arrow.
Well, I wonder if he's trying to avoid kicking that ball return, because he did not kick it on that time, which means it would force him up a little bit on the lane or make him conscious of not hitting it. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't hit it on the spare either. Well, that tightens it up.
Absolutely, Jeremy can go ahead with a strike in this match now.
Yep.
He's doing what he has to do. He's keeping it in the oil.
You're right. And that's what sometimes happens. You keep that in the oil, you lose some of your carry.
I mean, he whipped it. He rung the 6 right around that 10.
It was a decent shot.
Yep.
And I can't do that. I don't have that shot. I don't have that shot in me. I don't have that shot, brother. No, I know.
How do you hit a target?
Right.
I mean,
What are you aiming at?
What are you aiming at?
What are you aiming at? Up in the air. This is Jeremy's tough lane. Let's see what he does here. His best shot was the second frame.
Well, I have to feel like his game plan should be to keep it in.
He took a little extra time on that. He's about 15.
They
Out
did
to
it.
about 5, and just not quite.
No, that left to right shot, that open shoulder throw to the right is not working. You have to be a little straighter, more
Little square. You got it.
because you're crossing through heavy oil to get to light oil, and how long you stay in that heavy oil is going to determine where your ball goes. It's just too iffy.
And you don't have a lot of time in a one-game match, you know?
The best thing to do is to ride the oil pattern.
And hope to carry. Yep.
Stay out of trouble.
Wow. I am highly surprised he's not using a spare ball at that shot.
See,
Good time.
I can't use a spare ball on my left-hand side, and I would never throw
No?
it at multiple pin spares because I would absolutely chop most of them.
Would you?
But I still do everything off the 3-6-9 rule, which you have to, you know, sometimes alter it a little bit depending on how tight they are or how oily they are. But I always start out with the 3-6-9. It might be a little bit more 4-8-12 now, but it still applies.
3 boards per pin? That's what I was taught too. That's a good rebound there for Jeremy.
Well, I've talked about that, and I've talked about it to the professionals, and they're like, nope, can't do that anymore. I'm like, but it works for me. I use my strike ball. I use the same ball. This is for your left-hand spares, though. So I would say maybe more, because if there's a heavy concentration of oil in the middle, you're going to go 4 instead of 3. Great
That's
shot.
a good shot. Good time to thank Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Scoreboard and Janelle doing a great job, doing some math over there.
And Dirt Sheet TV for their giveaway. Thanks for all the TVs, and thanks ahead of time for the laptops.
They're doing the laptops now. Okay, he got away with one. But like you said, he kept it in the oil, and he took his chance on the ball finishing.
That's right.
And striking, and he did. But he is definitely playing deeper. He's playing about 20 to 15. He's not doing much on that lane.
And our Salamanca bowlers have really put on a good show today, and James is, now it's his turn to be the champion, and we'll come back and we'll talk to Jeremy a little bit about 192 to 187, literally anybody's game, but our lowest scoring game of the month.
Yeah.
Little transition going on out there.
Yeah, I still don't really know where to stand and where to throw it, so that's pretty obvious, I think.
Yeah, it's easy to sit back there and be an armchair quarterback, but the dry is really, really dry and almost literally unplayable.
My first shot went Brooklyn on this lane, so then I switched balls and moved in, and it was close, but not close enough.
Yeah, definitely the challenge of wood lanes and the pattern, a lot of games on it, and it just becomes more challenging as we go, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll give you some money anyways.
Jeremy, thanks for coming
Paul.
down,
Appreciate
supporting
it.
us
Yep,
like
no
you always
problem.
do. Appreciate it. Wish I could be handing you a little more.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Thanks.
All right. So we'll be back for the next match, which is going to be James Brown versus Tommy Kress. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back. James Brown
I knew that I would now.
is electing to let Tom go first. So we're going to see, get our first look at Tom on lane 7, which we know this lane has been, actually both lanes are playable, but the bowler has to play them right.
Wow, he's outside. That was a miss. Do you think that was his fault or his ball driller's fault? Which would be Sue Jeziorski.
Wow, she's not here to defend herself, Greg.
Will, all right, I trust
That's
Sue.
my teammate. I can't talk smack about my teammate.
Operator error. Good spare.
Good spare. I can't figure out exactly what his plan was on that lane, because I don't know that he meant to miss that far right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if
We're gonna have to get another look at that to see what he's thinking.
watching him practice, he didn't definitely get one out that far.
Jeremy was trying to adjust on the fly and just had trouble doing it.
Yeah.
Is that ESPN or is that,
It did sound like
is that
ESPN. Yeah.
James Brown? I
It ran
can't
out
figure
of the den, yeah. Well, he's created some room on this lane. He's playing deeper. He's playing about 20 out to 15. It's just a matter where he carries. Seems like the ball's reacting nice on this lane for him. Got that out a little wider. All right, came back nice.
Job.
There you go.
He's got a nice mix of ball speed and revolutions going on.
Yep.
What did they show up there with the strike? Only needed one ball. What was that? I never looked.
I didn't catch it, Greg. There's so many of them up there, I don't even know.
That's funny. I like that. Wow, is he out there? Oh, there it is. Well, I got to lower it. Timing is
That was
everything.
a paralyzer 5-7. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
At the same time, the leaning tower of pins.
I don't really know what to say about that. I'm a little bit surprised that his eyes aren't deeper.
I think he missed. I mean,
Oh,
I
he definitely
missed.
missed. He definitely missed. But his eyes are still to the right.
They sure are.
And I think you want to decrease your margin for error and take that right out of there. They're very playable straight up the boards
And
just
square up, like
yeah.
you said, square up as opposed to having to look that far right.
Unless you have unlimited right, I don't see how you want to do that. But
Do you find, Paul, that on your 5-man leagues that by game 3, they're using different equipment and
Oh, absolutely. What I was going to say about that too, when the lanes are like this, a lot of what goes into it is in your head. Like I mean, you might have to think you got to throw it faster. Okay, what's that do? That creates a timing issue, especially if you don't do it all the time. You know,
and it can create more revs too.
Yeah, but it's if you get it in your head, one lane's bothering you, whatever. Sometimes you're not doing the same thing every time.
all you really have to do is keep moving in.
Correct.
I'm not good enough to throw the ball faster.
Wow. Well, now, he struck some oil there, didn't he?
He did.
And I think that spot right there with Tom's ball speed, he would be able to roll it out of that.
Absolutely.
Did James come down to your tournament at Billy Lane's?
He didn't bowl there. He bowled in the singles one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the distance again between the two centers?
You're talking 20 minutes.
Congratulations on your purchase of Billy Lane's too. That's cool.
Thank you.
They were nice prior owners. They were nice people. They just
The Bagnanos were great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for you.
There you
ball.
go.
Good ball.
Good job.
He was a little bit more square on that one.
Definitely.
That's exactly right. And I mean, just coming back to, there's transition and they're hooking, so you're, they might be forcing it too. Like that one come off his hand nice and clean.
Sure did. Rinse and repeat. Want to thank Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard. Janelle over there doing a great job. Thank you. She moves her head a lot. Oh, there you go. Even though the bowlers are transitioning in, there's still that miss area right. Out of bounds.
Yeah, when you miss right like that, it tends to be a timing issue. So I'm kind of watching his feet to see if he's if his feet are getting there early. A lot of times that's what makes the ball skate off to the right, is if you're there and the ball isn't.
Yep.
Making those spares, though, to keep himself in it. This is a case where he's playing the lanes right.
Oh, absolutely. And he's comfortable. So, yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. Got a little confidence. That's a good shot. Oh,
that was a good shot. Came off his hand.
It was clean. Yeah. That was a little more right of the last one. It came light.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought he moved in and looked right.
Yeah.
But these eyes are definitely a little bit right, which he needed to catch some of that drive.
Certainly.
You can tell when he gets comfortable, he only goes to the sweat towel every 10 seconds. And of course, he's going to make the spare.
Instant replay on Beat the Champ is brought to you by Transit Lanes and Keglers. Join us for bowling, food, and drinks. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
7-10.
So what do you think his target is?
I'm thinking
the dent further out, about 3/4 of the way down the lane.
Yeah, either that or he's looking a little left of where the camera is down there. I don't know, but he's hitting it. That ball got to the point. It was left and
sure did.
It was early.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have helped him get back into the match and tighten it up a little bit.
There's something that usually happens. You miss the lane you've been hitting. Now he'll come over here and probably throw a strike.
Yep.
That just drives you nuts.
Yep.
That is bowling for you, though, isn't it?
It is.
You're almost guaranteed to throw this strike.
Yeah. It's got a chance.
Nope. It's just. I don't know if that area is breaking down.
As soon as that hit the lane.
About 10 feet after
left.
the arrows, it looks like it just wanted to go left.
Yeah, that ball is not reading the lane right at all.
No.
I've noticed in transition the last few weeks, the bowlers are staying with the equipment. They're not changing equipment. They're trying to use the same ball and trying to react to that transition.
Well, I was kind of surprised when I talked to his brother, when I talked to Ryan. I mean, it's like from here, you get a different perspective than obviously when you're up there trying to make a quick decision.
Right.
But you could see that ball was just hitting a little too soft.
I remember you asking him about that. Did he think about it? He didn't even cross his mind by the sounds of it.
Wow. How is that not a distraction?
I guess he's done it enough.
Look on his.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
There were a couple frames there in the last match. He stopped kicking it, and he was losing his angle to the pocket.
Yeah.
And it was like I was wondering if
so you know he has to kick it.
He was trying to avoid it, and it was actually taking him out of his comfort zone.
Have Janelle move over a little bit.
Oh.
Great shot.
Yeah,
That was a good shot. That was a good shot. Yeah, somebody had said earlier, Greg, you said you saw Janelle move. They said when he's shooting a 10-pin, she better back up.
Yeah, she said she's nervous.
Because of his leg kick.
Let's see how close he gets. Oh, heavens.
I swear he's 100% on that.
He is. When it's in the air. If it hits the lane, he's missed both of them.
Yeah, you're right. He's showing off now.
Yeah.
I want to mention this is the last weekend for qualifiers at Lucky Lanes. The top 24 roll-off is Sunday, March 17th at 7:30. And there's still squads 12, 2, and 4 to make that top 24. So don't forget to go out there and bowl Lucky Lanes in Fredonia.
Ball change, he moved in a little bit. Strike.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
One of the few times we've seen a ball change.
This match isn't over if he can strike here.
Right, you're absolutely right. The good thing is he's made all his spares to stay
Absolutely,
in it.
to stay clean.
Well, Jeremy changed last match, didn't he?
He did.
Yes, he did.
He was throwing a
bit late,
blue
though.
quantum pearl bias.
Yep.
To start. There you go.
That ball's reading the lanes nice.
Yeah.
But
he's very happy. It's the last time he's got a bowl on that lane.
well, all you can do is just keep striking.
Well,
And like I said, I mean, you would think that Jim would be running away, but it's only a 12-pin match.
that's right.
That's wide. Oh,
Missed right and got a break.
yeah.
Got to walk before you can run. Does he need this to shut him out?
Nope. He needed double 9 to shut him out. Strike 9. Strike 9. He had the
needed
strike in the
the first
9th.
one,
Right. He needed the first one to have a chance.
All right.
So we have a match.
We have a match.
Ooh, big spare there.
Okay. We'll see if Tom can kick the door in.
.218. Final score for him. All right, has to have a double here.
There's two, yeah. Well, he seems to be confident. He made the ball change and he's playing each lane well. Let's see what happens.
Oh. Well, that was a great effort. That was a great effort. It just shows you, though, what you can give yourself a chance by making your spares and making
Absolutely.
good decisions.
That's so true. So
But
true.
James is going to win our show, and he'll have to make the trip to Fredonia. And well, Tom, that was a great lesson in making your spares and really trying to figure the lane out and making a good ball choice there at the end. Take us through that.
Yeah, in practice, I started with I threw the high road X, and it looked good all practice. And then when the game started, the lanes just changed for some reason. I don't know why, but I probably shouldn't have had that ball in my hands. And it took me a little while to figure that out, but made my spares, and that's what kept me in. And I had a chance at the end and made a decent shot, but it wasn't good enough. And James bowled great all day, and a great match.
It was, and that was really textbook what you did out there, and it's nice for us to be able to talk about that. So good job in really thinking about that match and getting through it. He's got some money for you here.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. No problem.
Greg, sing a little song for James there.
James Brown, huh? Bet that you would now. Listen, nice job out there. You literally had to sweat out another match, didn't you?
That's all it takes, a lot of sweating and keeping the ball in the air for the 10 pin.
You know, you bowled well all day, but you had a chance to actually lose the match while sitting down. What was going through your mind at that point?
I was just hoping that he got a tough break and it worked out to my advantage.
Well, congratulations. Keep the ball rolling, man, okay?
Thank you.
Good luck.
Seeing Fredonia for me.
I'll be there.
Well, thanks for watching, and we will be back to wrap this up. Janelle and Greg and I will talk about the rest of this match, and we'll talk about next week when the women bowl. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Well, thank you for watching Beat the Champ here from Salamanca. It's Janelle's birthday. I want to say happy birthday. Today is her birthday.
Found out it's my birthday. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Want to sing a song from Cats or anything?
And thank Greg for coming in and filling in for Paul. You did a great job. Thank you so much.
I had a blast. Thank you for asking.
All right. Well, next week we're going to have a women's competition. It'll be step ladder finals. It's going to be a handicap event. And as always, we enjoy watching the women bowl. So stay tuned next week. Watch the ladies. Thank you for watching Beat the Champ.